I'm going to be making some tiles today, but I'm going to be making harlequin shaped tiles. I made some earlier because I like to do paint and micas, so these are some that I made earlier. I'll lay these out. Another tile. So, I'm just going to spritz the water on my stamp. And roll out some clay. Okay. And then I'm going to use from this set, I don't have the whole thing, but it's a harlequin shaped set. I used the second largest one. You could use any one of them. But these nest really nice together. And they kind of stick in there, and then I push them out like that. We don't need to make a ton of them, but hopefully this video comes out not as blurry as my other ones. Just try to get the most out of the clay so that I'm not re-rolling it a million times. Okay. I think I could probably might be able to get one more out of this corner. Maybe, maybe not. I can get a half of one. Barely. Nope, I got one. So the next thing I'm going to do place the raw clay on my tile. I'm going to cut some in half and leave some of them whole. Because it makes a really nice border. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Sometimes I have to clean up the edges a little bit. I've also done these where I've placed plastic wrap over them before using the cutter, and it kind of gives it kind of a more of a rounded shape. I actually just like them without the rounded corners. It's just a matter of preference. And for this technique, it's going to be a 2-to-1 ratio for the diamond shaped to the triangular shape, because once you make them, they're going to, so I can find that cut edge. When you lay them in your mosaic, they kind of lay out like this. I don't think I have the right cut edge showing. But you get the idea. And you can make an entire border just like that. And see, this is why I like not using the cellophane to cover the clay before I cut it, because that rounded edge doesn't, it's not as, you can't push them as close together. When you have that rounded edge, you have more of a, not necessarily a gap between them, but when you look at them head on, I'm sorry, that's white, so it may not work as well. Okay. Okay, so we're going to group some down here, group some up here, group some together here, and the reason why I do this is because I like to do all my red, yellow, orange together, all my purple, green, blue together, or green and blues together, and then my purples, reds, or whatever. Make sure that you can see this, and I'm sorry that it's at this angle. And let's do my favorites first. We'll do the reds, oranges, and yellows, blah, blah, blah. I drop a couple drops of this FW acrylics. And I use both the flat colors and the pearlescent. I just prefer the flat colors a little more over the pearlescent ones. I just think that they're, I don't know, I just think that they're a little bit brighter. That's all. And this color right here is Sundown Magenta. This is like a pearlescent pink. And I'm going to move straight over to another color without cleaning my brush. And this color is Scarlet. It's kind of an orangey red. One of the things I learned last week was to be sure that I close the lids on those. And again, I'm really sorry this is coming out blurry. Close the lid because I shook one when the lid was loose. And gold went everywhere. But it was a happy mistake because it landed on some of my tiles that I normally would not have gold on, but they were almost dry. So it put like a nice layering of gold on top of some purple that I wouldn't have done because that would have, I don't know, not a good mix. Anyway, sometimes I'll add like a dot of another color just to kind of watch them blend. See what they do on their own. A different shade of yellow. This one is brilliant yellow. The first one that I used to cover the tiles was the Indian yellow. And I'm just going to let them blend and do their thing. I'll do a few more in some greens and blues. Now this is a pearlescent one. This is the macaw green. always on the hunt for the perfect shade of green. And this is dark green. And brownie blue. See if you guys can see that. I'm just going to keep that off to the side, kind of let these work on these. Paint that on. Move a little bit of that over there. Now I'm going to kind of paint that. Bit of the blue in there. Kind of let it work its magic together. And excuse my hands, put a little bit more of that macaw green back in there. Just to give it a different color altogether. And sometimes I just kind of hit the edges with another color just to kind of mix it up. Now let's do some let's just do blue. We'll do blue right now. This is Galactic Blue. It is a pearlescent. It's actually one of the pearlescents that I really like. And again, just a couple drops. I'll stick with the Brownie Blue. Again, I'll put it on in a second. Let's spread some of this out first. Now we'll drop some of that blue on there and kind of let it spread and do its thing. And I'm not really thinking too much when I'm putting them on. Sometimes I let them run together, sometimes I paint them in together. Now I'm going to add a little bit of this dark green. This will give me kind of a teal color. I am going to go back and mop up this one that I let run together because it's going to take forever to dry. But that green, adding that green made it kind of a nice, almost like an aqua color. The camera's probably not going to pick it up, but it's really nice. More of it. Places. You probably hear all the background noises. My next door neighbors are dang near reconstructing their entire house. But there you go. See if you can. Those are the blue and greens. And again, not really paying a whole lot of attention to how I'm coloring them, because once they're dry, I put mica powders on top of them. So, and also my son getting ready to go to San Francisco with his girlfriend. It's not that far from here. So here's some that I'm just moving those out of the way. I pre-painted some, so they'd be ready for the mica powders. I'm just moving these out of the way. And show you some of the ones that I painted previously. I let the paint dry. So maybe about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes of drying time is enough. Look at this one. Hopefully you can see that one. It's that blue and green that made that pretty aqua color. And then sometimes you mix in, you get just a little bit of that pearlescent color, and it makes the whole thing just look totally different. A couple purples that I did. And next we're going to move to, probably should have had these laid out on this tile. I have them on a tile, but I wanted to move them to a tile that didn't have a lot of paint. So on it, the one I'm taking it from has, it's really messy and very hard to see. That's why I moved it. Or am moving it to another tile. Now we're going to do the mica powders. Make sure they're closed. This is my latest organization system, putting them in a plastic shoebox. Everything's got a box now based on category, so I can kind of keep things cleaned up. And putting on mica powders, I like to use a mask. I have a few, some cheap ones, this one I bought at a hardware store. Because those powders tend to go airborne. So, I have my favorite colors. One of my favorites is by Luminart, the True Blue color. This is really nice. They have another, I think it's, is it this one or this one? I have two pink ones that look very similar. One of them is super grainy, and I can't stand using it. Let's see. Oh, I can't tell by looking. I think it's either one of these. I'll figure out in a second. Either Jasmine or Blushing Rose. And then always my Pearl X Brilliant Gold. I do have the Mona Lisa metal powders, the pure gold. I just find it really grainy, so I try not to use it that much. But those are the main ones that I use because I like to put warm colors on. I have two Mona Lisa powders that are a silvery color. I have silver and I have platinum. The platinum's a warmer color than the silver. So the silver I would use more with the blues. And then the platinum I would use more with the warmer colors. And then I've got all kinds of Pearlex and these Dreamweavers, Lindy's, you name them. But these are my favorites right here. So now I'm going to go through and just hit the tops of them. Whoops, I just got powder all over everything. I'll use that. And you know, if you mix blue and orange together in paint, they'll blend, they'll turn into brown because they're opposite the color wheel. But if you just put it over the top, it really does pop on top of the orange. Oops, I went a little heavy-handed. That's okay. Normally I take it out of the top, but I spilled so much, I thought I could use this. Let's see how this looks over here. Use a little bit of the Pearlex. And you may even see some of the Pearlex. Usually I don't do the entire tile with just one shade of powder. I'll mix it up a little bit. Do like half and half. Just to make it interesting. Oops. I went over one I had already done. The one I like is the Blushing Rose. And you can see I was a little heavy-handed with the blue on that one. But you can see with the three different colors how pretty they come out. And again, when you're making your, clean my hands a little bit, when you're making a border with these, again, we'll just do another quick example of when they're laid out, how pretty they are. Laid out next to each other. Sorry, it makes it a little bit hard to let my fingernails grow. Yay! But sometimes it does make Working with the clay a little harder for me. Especially when I'm working, not necessarily working with clay, but when I'm working with something and it's kind of detailed like this. Oh, that's too close in color. Let's get another purple. And again, and when you lay that out on doing a mosaic with that, you can get those a little closer together when they're baked and cured, and you can make a whole border section like that. So, hope you give this a try. These cutters, I think they're made by the same people who make the sculpted clay. I found these at Michael's, and they're the diamond-shaped ones. You could probably do them with squares as well, and again, you can use any of the sizes, just depending on how large you want your border. I just like mine this size. So, hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you soon. Oh, wait, before you go, I want to show you a project that I've been working on. Hopefully I can get it in the frame. But it is a box. I'll lift this up. So, it is a tile art box, or box. Made with all my tiles. A la Patty Parrish style. And if you haven't seen her videos, she's got tons of videos on art journaling and just lots of fun stuff. But this is hopefully I can get the whole thing in the frame. That'll give you an idea. This was a lot of fun to make, especially this centerpiece right here. And again, this centerpiece with the sun, if I get that in focus, is the same technique that I just did with the tiles, using the FW acrylics, letting it dry, and then just putting different colors on top of it to just kind of make it pop. So, okay. So, go try this yourself, have some fun.